Welcome to our channel. I hope you're doing fine. I hope you're going to like today's video, and in case you're watching for the first time, as always, take a second or two, subscribe to our channel so that whenever you're doing such videos, you're always notified. Today, as I'm speaking, it's about 800 and about 35 days to the next general election. And yesterday, something very painful, very emotional happened in the streets of the Nairobi county, where a young man trying to sell masks was caught in the midst of the protest and was shot. Actually, the young man was shot trying to run away from those two police officers, and one of them did shoot him on the head. And that young man was taken to hospital to receive medication, but he was in a very critical condition. Ladies and gentlemen, in this analysis, we want to look into what will characterize, because I believe that such events are what will characterize the way Kenyans will vote come 2027. And Kenyans are really waiting for these 830 something days to come to an end, so that waamke asubuhi waende wapige kura. And in this analysis, I want to tell you what is likely or is going to happen come 2027. And with further ado, let's get into it. 2027, this is going to be the look of the real things on the ground. Number one, youths will be at the polling stations. If you see how youths are turning out in demonstrations, how they are taking the mother serious after the death of Albert Ojwang, it's youths who have shown to the streets to protest about that death. And if you see these youths, they are very pained with what's been happening. And in 2027, they will be in the polling station just to protect the votes. So youths will take a bigger role in terms of technology and protecting the votes, so that nobody interferes with the outcome of the 2027 general election. Number two, previous elections have been, youths have always been saying that they don't turn out to vote. Youths form about 65% of the total voters in the register of voters, but their turnout has always been not very good. But 2027 is going to be quite different. With the demanding of the change, with wanting to bring in new leadership, the youths in 2027 will turn out in numbers. And that's why the 2027 general election might up from what we had in 2022, which was about 14 million, to about even 17 or 18 million valid votes being cast in that general election. And remember that the 2027 general election, youths who were born as late as 2006, no, not 2006, I mean 2009, will be voting, because by then they will be 18 years and they will have had an identity card. So the youth are really waiting to vote in the 2027 general election. That's why that election is going to have a very huge outcome. So the second thing is that the tyranny of numbers is really going to go high. And the first thing we've said is that technology will be really used in that election. Ile saa yenye wanasema candidate A 1 vote, candidate B 9 votes, while they are counting, youths will be live there recording, sharing on TikTok, sharing in all social media that they have effectively used in the period. And another thing that is likely to happen in that election is that the 2022 general election, people were voting to bring President Ruto into power. With remember that President Ruto came up with a very good slogan of the hustler narrative, kazi ni kazi, and it really resonated very well with the youths. You can tell me what you think about the same in 2027. Is there a slogan or an idea that the current government can come up in 2027 to try and get the support it got in 2022? I believe it's too late for it, because if you follow what's been happening in the streets, the way people are talking on social media, because we are on this social media, we are on these platforms, we see what's happening, we see what's reported, we have been seeing opinion polls, and in 2027, people will be voting to bring in new leadership, regardless of who is running for presidency. The Kenyans will be voting to bring in leadership. Another thing is that the 2022 general election, the medium class did not vote. Their turnout was not very good. But with the payslip order thing that is now being talked about everywhere. These people are going to vote just with the matter of rescuing their payslip because of the taxes that have been added to their payslips, especially the housing levy tax. This is a tax that a lot of Kenyans did not go well with. The housing levy, and a lot of Kenyans want it removed from their payslips. And in 2027, these such things will make or help them make a decision on what to do on the ballot. And the last thing is that as we speak right now, Raila Odinga has been one of the long-term politicians we have had influencing the outcome of various elections. Remember, Raila Odinga has been running for presidency quite for a very long time. But after joining or coming into agreements, to a memorandum of agreements with the broad-based government, Raila Odinga relevance is slowly coming to an end. Because when you see people turning out to the streets without Raila Odinga, without any opposition leader, then it means that Kenyans are tired to listen or to wait for direction from anyone. Number two, what's the thought of Kenyans who've been supporting Raila Odinga? When such things are happening and there is that memorandum of agreement is still in action. You can tell me what you think in the comment section about Raila Odinga. Do you think Raila Odinga is relevant? Will he really pull numbers across the country? Remember, Raila Odinga has been receiving votes across the country. Even when the Mount Kenya community has been voting against him, Raila Odinga has come close to 200,000 votes to win an election like the 2022 general election. And he's even claimed that he has been winning previous elections. Do you think that the 2027 general election, Raila will really impact on the outcome? Or even if Raila Odinga supports President Ruto, there is also the government is really going to lose that election, especially with what we have seen happening in the streets, people being shot. We have Albert Ojwang who was picked and died, and a lot of things really happening in a series of events from what happened, what started at from the finance bill protests up to date, with the abduction coming in and Raila Odinga, of course, coming out to demand an end of it. But we've seen a lot of events happening from about 2 or 1 year ago. Others, ladies and gentlemen, you can tell what you think in the comment section about the 2027 general election. Ukienda kupiga kura, utakuwa unapiga kura ukifikiria nini? What will really influence you voting for a certain presidential candidate? And who do you expect will win that presidential candidate, presidential election? Others, ladies and gentlemen, that's all for you for today. Stay safe whenever you are. Take care when you're walking the streets, because of the events you've seen that are happening as we wait to see what will eventually happen. Have a nice day. Stay safe whenever you are.